Hello and welcome uh, again from Magic of Boot. This is Ronnie Mazumdar and I have Shudipta. Shudipta, we talked a little bit about, not a little bit, a lot about transfer winter transfer window. Where you want to go next? Topics to be covered.
Let's go to the Champions League
Okay.
second round.
There are actually few games to be played the first round as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's discuss about the last week games of UEFA Champions League, and who did you think were the better teams? Obviously, there was some excellent teams playing.
Actually, I was quite impressed with PSG. Uh,
You were.
yeah, because I have never seen them, at least in this season. They were actually pressing up high, and they did not give any space, and especially with Mbappe and Di Maria. They both were lurking around wings. The wing backs actually could not um, move forward, or too scared to move or something like this, or probably some instruction from the coach. I don't know, but at least for the first 40 minutes, I haven't seen Mendy. Probably Mendy went up for a while, like two, three times, but um, Carvajal was there like until 40 minutes. It was quite impressive actually how they were pressing up high, and especially Di Maria, Mbappe, or sometimes even Lionel Messi they were actually recovering balls um, up front. There were some push from the midfield. Verratti played really well. Um, well, it was actually impressive so far. They
Yeah.
could have actually scored more, and given the Messi's penalty miss, it was
hmm
unfortunate.
hmm hmm Fair enough. Arguably, that was their best performance for the season because they've looked very disjointed, to be honest, and I did while we were recording. They lost the game against Nantes in Liga One in the 3-1.
Well, it does not matter like if they uh, like
Keep their forms in Champions League.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, we have seen enough teams such as Zidane's Real Madrid were a prime example of doing really well in Champions League, but not doing well in the local league. But by the way, they're still leading Liga One by quite a long distance.
Yeah.
So, regarding Real Madrid against PSG, I mean, and obviously being first round being played in Paris, do you think the Real Madrid were extra defensive, or they actually couldn't get up at all? I mean, it seems like I've not seen the game, but I've seen enough highlights to see, they're just sitting deep.
I think it was the um, well, they did this sort of stuff, even in there they were winning the treble Champions League.
hmm
um, they were actually sitting deep, but the thing is that like with Mbappe and Di Maria, like both of them are, how can I say, like speedster, and uh, even Mendy could not uh, keep up with 34-year-old
Yeah,
Di Maria
yeah.
sometimes. So I think it's a, in a sense, it's a sensible
And also there is
move, but
Ashraf
but
Hakimi overlapping as well, right? So,
yeah, and he was actually dribble past Mendy quite a few times. Um, and even someone was like Vinicius, where tracking the ball, but taking back the ball, but still they Hakimi actually dribble past Junior or Mendy sometimes. So and the thing is that like Hakimi so far it's his best performance as well, since he moved from Inter. We saw how he played last season,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we were kind of expecting this. But he were actually making those moves, but it wasn't working out before. But that match it clicked actually. But
Yeah, it did.
what I was
Mm.
actually thinking that like um, they right now they have ball players like Alaba or Eder Militao is quite a good with balls. Carvajal is quite comfortable with ball, and the
The
midfield
midfield
trio is
is obviously.
yeah is one of the best still. If they even if they're aging,
Hmm.
so they could have actually how can I
Played a
say,
little better or a little more
yeah,
aggressive.
a little more aggressive. But what I think that they were still in the how can I say, they were still following this formula which they've been following for last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
They were actually not going at it in the away games, but they are quite brilliant in Santiago Bernabeu.
Okay. Uh, but
I
yeah.
was going to ask, like, what do you think of this? Right now, they don't. UEFA actually uh, had a new regulations about away goals. There is no advantage in away goals or anything.
I mean, every every decision has its ups and downs, and good things and bad things. The bad thing being exactly what Real Madrid's approach, because now a goal is goal. It doesn't have that importance of go and play out and score and have a goal, right? So it doesn't give that advantage anymore.
Yeah.
So that's demoralizing to play well. So you can go to away venue and sit deep, block as much as possible, and try to play in your home fixture. Um, and that's exactly why the away goal rule was invented or applied. Um, but then there are some harsh decisions being done because of the away goal. If you remember, a lot of them has been just drawn, but because of the away goal rule, the visiting team basically got the edge. I don't know if that is fair, but if they're visiting team, you have to give something to them to come out and play, and I think away goal rule. I used to like it actually. I even if it goes against uh, the good team or the team that played well. I used to like it because of its knockout punch. The same reason I always liked golden goal, if you remember golden goal rule, because it gives a very much of unpredictability, like anyone can score, and it all of a sudden like it opens up the game.
Well, don't you think um now it's not like away goal doesn't matter? So like for example, um so many stuffs are going on with this team because they had to also play in their own leagues and cups and stuff like this. Sometimes they lose like important players, and sometimes it doesn't go in their way, and they like for example they lost 2-0 at home and they could not actually make it up and in the second leg as well. So like don't you think like it will give them more a little bit chance to come back, like in the next 90 minutes? For example, Borussia Dortmund lose against Rangers by
in the
2-4.
Europa League, yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, 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 in the Europa League, yeah. So like they still can come because it's now it's like 2 goal difference. But if you count for ever a goal, then you know.
No, that's why I said it has its positives and negatives. The negative is being how you approach the game. If you approach from what Ancelotti did, or someone very conservative, uh, you lose the beauty of the game for at least one leg, and the other leg is there to fight for. But I mean, fair enough. It's same rule for everyone. Um, I still kind of like the away goal because that gives a cutting edge. But then again, you can come back and say, what if both team scores home goal and the last 30 minutes, whoever scores wins anyway, right? So yeah, there are on both sides there are arguments. So I do understand that.
It's quite a bit new actually because I think in the first leg most of the team will be a little bit more cautious, but in the second leg it will always be a little bit breathtaking
Especially
or
the home
something
team.
like.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Real Madrid still has their chance.
Yeah, it's
Probably they
just
can
because it's
win.
just one goal, right?
Yeah, but still,
But they will be
uh,
potentially missing Casemiro. Actually, he was
yeah, he
suspended.
will miss. Yeah,
Uh,
he will miss next match. Also, Mendy will miss next match.
and also Karim Benzema is not really fit, and you can see
But he will be because the second leg is probably
15
somewhere.
days.
Yeah, in 15 days. So
But still, I mean, he when we're talking about hamstring injuries,
yeah.
15 days doesn't make huge difference.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
Uh,
do you think it's a sensible decision to play Benzema at all?
no, I
If,
wouldn't have. I would have rather waited for him to come back more in the second leg because
and
if you're
and he's
playing like that in that tactics, right? Anyone could have played. Even Marco Asensio could have used him.
yeah, they can use like a really fast runner like Gareth Bale, um, because
Or
they were depending on counter attacks. So he
someone
could.
like Rodrigo. Just give it a go.
Oh yeah, Rodrigo.
Um, but again, and they have Jovic, right? Have we forgot
Yeah,
about Jovic at all? I mean, he used to be a good player. Then there is no trust at all, and it doesn't give a player confidence. I mean, to start against PSG at a high voltage game. I understand why Benzema is was tried because he's potentially the most important player of the attack. So
but
uh,
it almost felt like we were watching a rerun of Ronaldo incident in 1998 in the FIFA World Cup final.
yes, and potentially a very recent memory of Harry Kane starting in that Champions League final, if you remember, against
Oh yeah,
Liverpool.
mm,
He was not fit. He shouldn't have
yeah.
started at all. But again, normally coaches go for safe option, and safe option being your star player being included. I just wanted to ask one more thing,
But if you remember, in 2014 World Cup final, Di Maria was not playing.
but there was an
Sabella didn't.
external pressure and a lot of politics of Real Madrid and stuff like that. So, um, not going into there, but I wanted to ask you, people do talk less about PSG's midfield. Um, Especially, there is always if we talk about midfield, you're going to talk about Marco
Yeah,
Verratti, uh,
yeah.
and the other two played their part as well. Leandro Paredes was exceptional, and and Danilo did cover Hakimi whenever he tried to overlap. So
Yeah, he basically played in the in this, how can I say, pocket.
mhm,
Uh, it's quite similar to Rakitic. Yeah, how Rakitic was playing in when Barcelona won the Champions League last time.
right. So do you think obviously Verratti is very highly rated all over Europe, but people don't recognize the role of Paredes because whenever Paredes plays, it seems like PSG is way better looking team than when he doesn't play.
Actually, honestly speaking, like Paredes is more important than Lionel Messi in this team,
I totally agree.
and there were actually quite a few long ball attempts from him towards Di Maria. Like almost they are trying to recreate the Copa America final or something like
Right.
this. But yeah, when he was playing, yeah, he saw yellow card at the end, but for a stupid foul, it was really unnecessary. But
Yeah, that's you can get from him. But again, what I'm saying is, the team looks way different. Obviously,
yeah,
Verratti is exceptional, but whenever he plays and he has a good game, then PSG looks very different team than what it
and
is.
I actually I understood why they did not play Gay in the and they, instead of Danilo, because he's more aggressive than Danilo, and they need someone who can actually,
Balance.
yeah, balance and push back Mendy a little bit, or probably Vinicius Junior.
Hmm, hmm.
And Hakimi was actually on that side really brilliant, like one of the best right back performance. Or if you consider the wing back performance, um, like since I haven't seen that since Spinazzola in Euro.
Yeah, that's impressive. But yeah, uh, there is a little bit of controversy after the game. Obviously, Messi did miss penalty, but that doesn't mean that he has a bad game. He might have mediocre game on his standard, but that's Messi's standard. But there's a French magazine, football magazine, L'Equipe, gave him 3 out of 10 ranking, and there was a bit of I was looking at some of the comments from European-based pundit, and they're almost dismissing Messi. Do you think he played that bad?
Not really, not all of them actually. I saw Sky Sports after the match. Actually, I was sticking around and I saw them actually saying that yeah, he's not. It's not that like a higher level, but
Yeah,
it's not that not. It's not that bad. Like I will give like 6.5 out of 10 actually, because when Neymar came up, actually he was actually linking up with both Neymar and Mbappe,
yeah.
and one of the thing is that like yeah, there I think there was this problems with these two, how can I say, Messi, yeah, Verratti actually wasn't in this. Like, it's not like Verratti's fault or something like this. But the thing with Lionel Messi is that like Messi always, like especially these days, um, in his dawn of his career, he's like more like to do the one to one, other than. Um, other than dribble pass like 3 4 players or something like this. But this is the problem, like they weren't actually like there weren't any link up with Di Maria um, and Lionel Messi were always looking to find Mbappe in this game, and I think this is like one of his mistake,
Mis-
but other than that, I don't think
did you say
actually.
mistake? in terms of
Yeah, it's in terms of like decision making mistakes from
right
Messi's side, because he was always looking for
to link up.
Mbappe, and yeah, to link up, and Mbappe was like a, well, like it's probably the one of the best match Mbappe played so far.
I agree. He missed few. I mean, not missed, saved by Courtois a few times. Who, by the way, is potentially the best keeper at this point in the world. The way he's saving everything. Um, but in terms of Messi's performance, I think there are so many facets of Messi's game. You just cannot judge by one missed opportunity or no shots on goal because Messi does some. Benzema before the game, he said, if we're talking about Lionel Messi, we have to talk about football because he does so much things in football that you don't really see in statistics books or records or on the score sheet because nobody really says that like little turns, little dummies, body change, acceleration, and slowing down the game. Sometimes changing the pace of the passes, uh, putting some impossible switching. Um, there are so many aspects of the game, just you cannot describe um, Lionel Messi. And 3 out of 10. I don't know who was watching the game and who did that. He definitely doesn't understand anything about football.
Um, what do you think of Mbappe's performance? We have to say that, like, because
Well,
he's
Mbappe
one.
is potentially his statement performance in PSG for a long time. That's how I see it. I know they did with last year in Bayern Munich, and Mbappe played a huge role on that as well. But to me, the way the goal he manufactured something out of nothing, and that's in the tight spaces. It's not that like he had space,
Yeah,
right? And then and the timing of it and everything of it, it was, it's
almost reminded me of Ronaldo
the
phenomenon.
the Brazilian one.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, kind of in terms of unstoppable at that point
yeah.
of time. Yes, and the pace and the way he moved through. But yeah, that was, as I said, it's one of the statement performance from Kylian Mbappe, definitely.
What do you think of Neymar?
Well, I didn't see the game live, so I seen a little bit of bits and pieces. But what Neymar does is that Neymar already has very good connection with Messi um, from playing days, as well as Neymar. If he's on the move,
Mbappe actually got the ball from Neymar from a
no,
back flick.
exactly, and when Neymar is on that mood, and if he's in the right frame of mind, and he's not irritated because he can lose concentration if he gets irritated, right? If he's not irritated and he's in the right mind and somehow some some of those days he has cool head and he doesn't get bothered by foul or teasing, Neymar is unplayable.
So, do you think PSG has chance?
PSG always has chance, but still to me it's not as strong favorite as say if I talk about Manchester City or someone like even Liverpool or Chelsea.
So 51-49 or 50-50
For Real Madrid,
for
uh,
anyone.
um, I think there is definitely advantage for PSG. Now Real Madrid have to come and chase the game. But again, it is important how the first 5-10 minutes been played, and if Madrid can score some early goals, yeah, definitely Madrid has that upper hand. But um, I still say it's a 50-50.
Do you think PSG will press up like they did in Paris.
I think right now, if Neymar gets fit, I think he's playing, right? So in that case,
Yeah,
the pressing would. I'm not saying Neymar cannot press, but Neymar is not as good presser in terms of Di Maria, right?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, potentially yes and no. But then you have it all depends how organized they are on the midfield and how well they can play.
Fair enough.
So the same day there was another game, Manchester City literally thrashed. Uh,
But
uh,
it's kind of expected, you know.
yeah, but still, I mean, I've seen Porto, right? And they're not a bad team at all.
Yeah,
They're
but
fairly
City is playing, like, except for today's match, they are playing some unearthly football with this like six midfielder in front.
exactly. So I've seen the highlights. Obviously, couldn't see the game live. Um, and yeah, exceptional passing, exceptional body movement. Um, when I say body movement, I don't know if people would understand because same pass, if you have a different posture or different direction of body to receive, it will take split like more seconds to stop it and pass it together or have a flick or something like that. But because of the body position and technically they are so good in terms of players, they can do it so in so easy. I mean, anyone not played football or doesn't have idea of how to pass the ball around would be taking it for granted that that can be played like this. They can play like this. No, you cannot play like this. It takes practice. It takes. Um, I think there is a lot of thing that we don't know about Manchester City or Pep Guardiola's coaching team. I'm pretty sure they do have a video analyst for each training session for one person, and they do talk about how to move their bodies, how to receive the ball, and how to pass it and flick it. I'm pretty sure they have that because otherwise you cannot, like, you can have a fluke of a game, one of a game, but consistently doing every game, it's like they can be blindfolded and they still can find each other.
Well, I cannot like put it in like words like you.
Yeah.
It's quite brilliant. Mm.
Yeah, because I was seeing, say for example, some of the turns that would have had, or even Bernardo Silva, that goal obviously is a thunderous goal, but some of the passing of Bernardo Silva's game, like flicking here and there, and then moving exactly at the same position while Foden is moving out and he's moving in. It's like there is already a synchronization. It's like a dance performance. It's like a team ballet, the dance performance. Everybody is kind of pulling strings together. He's going somewhere, and the other teams, I don't know how Porto players have. I don't think they've played a bad game, but they've still done like what, four or five goals conceded, and they might go back to the dressing room and see the game, and they might say, "We didn't play that bad to be losing that 5-0, but this is against a team you're playing in, and then obviously Pep's previous teams, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, played some sensational football, but this is very different than those blueprints, and he's doing it so well, like it's almost unbelievable. It's like you're watching some team on a PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Um, the thing is that like they only lose matches when I don't know, like today they conceded two goals, um, but they only lose matches when this this sort of track back, um, like like when they lose the synchronization of this track back. For example, there are some spaces when they move ahead. There aren't any like centrally the spaces centrally especially, but there are spaces in the middle of the pitch on the both side of the pitch actually. Normally the center back covers, but Pep Guardiola is playing Rodri in a different sort of defensive midfielder. Like normally we saw that defensive midfielder go only straight, but if you notice Rodri, he is playing in the right wings sometimes and playing in the left wing sometimes, and it's oh, like it's
That's almost a
unpredictable.
replica of Pep Guardiola. How used to play in Johan Cruyff team. Um,
Yeah, but you cannot predict those movements, and that's the this is their strength actually. Like when they lose the ball, they lose it there, and
mhm,
Rodri is there, and
mhm,
he's
mhm.
like getting the ball in the final third and making an attack like. But only problem is that like for example, teams who are actually playing like deep lying back,
And very
but
direct. Has
y-
pacey attackers.
yeah, and I only see them actually like twice or three times probably when they conceded goal. So like if there are someone in front of the box, like in the corner of the box, because most of the crosses or most of the time they when they how can I say uh, saved it like from a shoot or like blocked it the opponent team, most of the time it goes either side of the box, and so like if they put players like on the top of the box like a winger or something, then actually City got problems, and other than that like there aren't actually anything to do against them.
You're absolutely right. So the only way I can see, obviously, you talked about today's English Premier League game, and that time to time a team can be. I mean, obviously Tottenham did win today, but that doesn't mean that City were bad. City were absolutely great, absolutely great.
Yeah, they came back actually like in the extra time of
Yeah,
90 minutes.
but coming back to the City and Champions League, unless Pep doesn't overthink too much in the later stages, I don't really
Yeah.
see how anyone else can win against them. I don't see.
Yeah, so far, like we saw Bayern Munich's performance and Real Madrid performance is not convincing enough to.
Well, now you talked about
Yeah, and
Bayern Munich. Obviously, they were not that great against Salzburg, but
yeah, yeah, we're coming back to that actually later. But like when we are talking about City, we have to talk about like favorites of this tournament.
yeah, they're
Um,
absolute favorites. They're the absolute favorites right there.
yeah, and what other teams are there like other than Liverpool, Chelsea, and I don't know.
I still think you have to put Bayern Munich. I know there is a
Yeah,
bit of problems on the back line especially, but you still have to put them because somehow Bayern Munich known for if they go deeper into the tournament, they are serious contenders right there.
yeah. Well,
And
yeah. So
and
far,
Chelsea somehow is not the same Chelsea we've seen. But in the
yeah,
meantime, they've
especially in the Champions League, it's not that they weren't actually that great actually this season.
no, and also, but yeah, congratulations to them. They have won the World Club Cup in the middle.
Yeah,
Um, I'd put City on the top tier of favorite, and then everybody else like Liverpool, even I would say second tier favorite, or um, we talked about Bayern Munich. Uh, we even if PSG comes out of this, they would be right there on the second tier. And I think the other teams would stand, below that second tier, would be third tier favorite.
But honestly, it's like really hard to play against a team where you are facing against 11 midfielders basically.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to, because like they're especially like passing wise, there aren't any like weak points or some stuff like this.
No, that's what I was thinking, if I had to play in an opposition team, which is not bad, or part of the opposition team's analysis group, or seeing the team, how you can basically protect against them. You don't know who is coming out, who's taking you on, who's going to drive on the inside, who's going to drive in the outside, uh, and the pattern of passing. It changes almost in a way that I doubt even sometimes City players knows it. They just
Yeah, and it's on a really high tempo.
Yeah, and that's the other part. It's almost one touch, almost always one touch, and it's hard to defend. No matter how many good defenders you have on your backs, it's hard to defend with one touch and good technical skill players. Um, and it's not just they have technical skill players. There are players who can shoot from outside too, and can score
Yeah,
goals. The Raheem Sterling goal, I mean, was fan-
probably the one of the best goal this season
yeah,
in the Champions League.
yeah. It's wonderful.
And he's the guy who used to drop
Yeah,
from the score, like from the 11 in the beginning of the season.
yeah. So it just shows the competition. They have bought a player, Jack Grealish. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's needed, but if he's needed, he's a good addition too. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the practice sessions has been fun for him.
yeah, true. So for there are some reports, like I saw his stats like in the final third especially. It's quite impressive. If you are thinking about positional play or tracking back or like recovering the ball, but only problem is that like he is not finding the net or
Yeah,
like assisting directly.
that confidence is not there yet,
Yeah,
but hopefully it comes.
but it's his first season, like but even if it's like probably the most I don't know,
Expensive.
valuable, yeah, most valuable English player or expensive English player, I don't know. Is
But
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
you're correct on that. Yeah.
Okay.
But moving away from City, I don't see Porto, you know, coming back with 6 goals and City not scoring one. So I think that tie is done and dusted very much, unless something very drastic happens. The other, can we talk about other teams, especially
Salzburg, Bayern.
yeah, it was a very competitive game. It was like you always know Bayern Munich, if they'll even lose or whatever, they will give you fight, and that's what they did.
They, they did not have defenders.
Yeah,
Like
that was,
they play
but
with
that,
like almost all midfielders.
but
And
but but the problem here is, yes, that you don't have defenders, but the high line, it's still there. I mean, and Salzburg has some very interesting players. Um, I was I was very impressed with most of the midfield players and even the wingers, and how they're trying to take it on Bayern. It was
it's
very impressive.
actually Champions League knockout debut.
Yes, yes. Very impressed with that team. I think a lot of people haven't really seen them as challenging, but yeah, it's a very good game from a lot of youngsters as well.
True.
And I was very
Um,
very impressed with I didn't see him that much physical, to be honest. Nicolas Capaldo of ex Boca Juniors is good.
Yeah.
Um, he was running around, winning tackles and balls, and he was pretty hard fought player. I think moving away in certain parts of Europe from South America and not in MLS have done quite good for him. I think that was
Actually, Boca right now playing quite a similar football like Salzburg.
that's true. There's definitely some sort of similarity. But yeah, coming back to even everything about Salzburg from midfield to the intensity is there. It's going to be a very interesting game to watch in Munich. And the other game was Inter Milan and Liverpool, I believe.
Yeah,
Did you see the game?
yeah, I saw. I don't know, like 60, 70, 60 or 63 minutes. I fall
Right.
asleep actually.
But
Unfortunately,
you must be tired.
I did not saw the goal. I did not see the goal.
But that's
But
when Inter Milan were really good up until that point, 70 minutes. And then something has changed. I think there's a bit of drop off intensity. Um, and Liverpool, I wouldn't say this is their best performance. They were not doing that great in terms of performance.
actually, they respected Liverpool a little bit more. Um,
Inter,
for
yeah,
example, there are situations like Lautaro Martinez was like one on one with 1v1 with Van Dijk, and
should
he
have
was
gone
not
for it,
actually looking. Yeah, he was not actually taking
taking
any.
it on. Yeah, yeah, I was surprised too. I was surprised too. I mean, if Inter had somebody to take on or
Yeah,
really speedy someone in the final third, because Dzeko is 38, and even he was 28. He was not the speedy guy.
yeah.
So 38, you have to understand. Dzeko is good for holding the ball and passing the ball, and also in terms of finishing, he's quite good. But there were Inter Milan were like almost like half a chance away. Like it's like half chances. Like probably one more good pass, you see the chances.
Or like there were one situation like Dzeko got the ball, but he could not actually keep up with Van Dijk
The
because
pace,
he was running past
yeah,
him.
the pace.
Unfortunate.
So only Perisic has the pace on the left
Yeah.
flank, and the others don't. And that's where Inter was lagging. And I think they have missed someone like Joaquin Correa, who's not really fit yet. But with his connectivity and pace could have been, important for them. And
Do you do you think they have any chance in the Enfield?
you know what? AC Milan scored twice in Anfield, right?
Mm.
In this Champions League. So why not Inter? They could do it. But the problem is if they can't keep it up. The problem with Inter Milan, I've seen enough of Inter Milan, like recent games against AC Milan, against Napoli, against Liverpool. I think up until 70th minute, they're fairly good, at least on the same level of any other team. But then when the substitution happens, it drops. Um, Obviously, they were missing Barella. Barella is a machine. Uh, Vidal is not the same Vidal anymore, and
Like he could not cope up with Fabinho or any other midfielders,
no,
and he
no.
was like,
And again, we are saying this is not the best performance from Liverpool, and Liverpool
yeah,
can do way better. But it's almost seemed like 2-0 was fairly easy and very unfortunate. The brilliant header from Firmino went in, and then Um, Somehow I don't like. I think Inter Milan has to find a better keeper than Handanovic. I'm not saying he's a bad keeper, but I think there is that chance. A better keeper at least tried for the second goal to go and cover. He was just stuck. Um, yeah, but I don't see Inter Milan really coming back, unless there is like flurry of goals in the first 10 minutes.
How good is Salah this season?
Uh, just for Liverpool or for Egypt as well.
Just for Liverpool.
Okay, I think it's very important player for Liverpool. I think he holds something that doesn't like the Liverpool other attackers doesn't have. He has this name and fear. Like say for example, if 4 or 5 years ago or 3 4 years ago, Eden Hazard is running with a Chelsea shirt, people had that respect and fear, right?
Yeah,
I mean, at a certain point, he was almost unplayable. Eden Hazard was. So I think he, at this point, uh, same with Salah. Salah has that reputation and the fear and the respect from the opposition team and special defenders. There are very few defenders unless you're like Kalibu Koulibaly or something like that. You don't have chance against Salah in one-on-one, especially if he's running towards you. You have to defend in a team. Um, that's what I feel, and Salah has been consistently good. But what I'm saying, there has been up and down in terms of goal scoring ability. But he does give you that cutting edge on that side. And if you're just sleeping, he makes sure that he buries the goal or finds someone else.
but like this season, he's not like top in the.
He's not.
Uh, uh, yeah, he's not like. Well, he's. I don't know. Like he's
He's
more
not as good
selective.
as last two season for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but in a different way, he is actually better. For example, he's providing more assist than other seasons.
Exactly.
He's more into like playmaking side of this game, and he has now players like Diego Jota who can actually take on in the middle. So like
Yeah,
he
which is a
doesn't
very
get to.
different player than Bobby Firmino. Firmino is
Yeah,
more like connection player and
yeah.
tricky player and intelligent. Jota is his goal scorer definitely, and that definitely brought some changes in Salah. And, to me, goal doesn't define a player, but if he scores, obviously it's good
But he's still like top in the Premier League and both in goals and assists.
for sure. He is, and that's where I think Premier League differs from other leagues. Like, what is the last player? I mean, before Salah, who used to dominate the league uh, almost like one-handedly. Probably Sergio Aguero,
Yeah,
uh, few years back.
or Luis Suarez for one season. I don't know.
Okay, Suarez. In terms of number, maybe Harry Kane. In
Yeah,
numbers, he's always there, but you don't have that impact in winning anything, right? So it's not Kane's fault that Tottenham doesn't have that team to win. Um, but yeah, that's the other factor in terms of uniqueness in English Premier League that the teams doesn't have that you know superstar that takes the league for storm or something like that.
well, with this Liverpool team, like with this attack, especially with these five players, like um, I don't think they need an like. Well, they can say that like Salah or Mane both are stars, right?
No,
Like
definitely they're stars, but I'm talking about
yeah, but if you see their midfield, it's not that like extraordinary.
no, but they're more of do their job diligently, like someone like Henderson, or
Yeah.
Fabinho or someone like that. It's they're more of a team player and whatever the setup needed. Um, but again, I was a little disappointed with Inter Milan coming back to the game. I mean, Inter Milan tactically, I think got the right ideas. They're switching ball really well. The long balls have been very good, especially on the right hand side. Is it Bastoni?
Yeah.
Some of the overlapping line runs have been good. Some of the work up front from Lautaro, like pressing up there and winning the balls, and Çalhanoğlu has been good. But Inter, I think, still misses something like Lukaku used to be for them a season ago. So they need someone definitely to step up.
Uh,
And I think they're
Maybe,
they're signing up. They're lining up for Sassuolo striker Scamacca. I don't know if he's the answer, but they're lining up for him.
but yeah, there is a possibility that Lautaro will leave
But
after
if
this.
Lautaro leaves, where he's living though?
Tottenham or Arsenal.
Okay, that would be interesting. Either choice would be very interesting choices. Um, with Inter Milan, at least in Serie A, there is some steadiness in terms of title challenge, right? So let's see. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, those are the games. I thought Inter were very good up until a certain point, and then some of the substitution happens, and there's a lack of intensity. All of a sudden, a drop of intensity, and then lack of awareness, I would say, and lack of ambition at certain part.
Well, sometimes it felt like if they have a sort of a number 10 in middle, could have been different, like in attacking sense.
Could be, but again,
Also,
uh,
playing Vidal is not like, I don't know. I would probably rather play anyone from the squad.
well, I think the problem was Sensi was not happy. Senesi, no Sensi, right? So he went on loan to Sampdoria, right? If he was around, um, they could have easily played him, and he's one of the skillful players
Yeah.
have. But if Barella is suspended, then they become very weak on that side. And also, I I would have played Darmian. Darmian to me is more attacking minded wing back. Um, I think they needed someone. They were respectful of Sadio Mane and Salah and Ronaldo. They didn't even play Ronaldo here. So yeah, it was a little bit more respect from them, and tactically they had the right ideas, doesn't have the right personnel.
Any more prediction
Oh
for
yeah,
the coming
the upcoming games. I think
upcoming games? Yeah.
Villarreal is playing Juventus, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Let me double check.
Yeah.
So, your thought on Juventus? They look reinvigorated after getting getting their striker Vlahovic.
I saw their match against Roma, or also the last match who played. I forgot actually. But the thing is that, like, with these new two signings, um, Denis Zakaria is playing probably in the right
Mhm.
and Vlahovic in the middle. Only the weak weak links is that, like, with obviously Alvaro Morata. Uh, Cuadrado is playing
Morata
really really.
somehow can be very good when he's under. Uh, I don't know. Alvaro Morata is a very strange player to me. I mean, I never found a similar player in the history of my knowledge. I've never seen someone like that. When you root for him, he will disappoint you by every mean, and when you don't even count him, he'll come up with some surprises. So it's probably he cannot be the leader of attacking, but he can be a very good supplement.
Yeah. About that actually, um, I don't know. Like they are playing him on the left wing, and I don't know actually. Very, it seems a little bit off actually because
Well,
sometimes
he used to play at that place with the Carlos Tevez in Juventus back in the time.
yeah, but
Uh,
he was like at the time 20, 21 years old, and he was running loose and but still caught in the offside position. Except for that, it's not the same player. But the thing is that like um, I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't want to comment on anything because it's sort of a mixed feeling. But
yeah,
like except for that Morata situation, Juventus actually looks quite well, and also
yeah.
the
There is a bit of report. Bonucci and Paulo Dybala might miss the first leg because of injury.
oh, then it would be a little bit tough. But um, well, I still favor Juventus
Juventus.
actually
But yeah, just to
because of Vlahovic
just
only.
okay, fair enough. And just on that same note, Villarreal is playing some incredibly good football. If anyone is watching them, they're doing very well. They were very unlucky to have 0-0 draw against Real Madrid last week, and this week I
Yeah,
think they've won 3-0 or something. I think Lo Celso in number 10 makes perfect sense for them. And there are some
they actually won against Granada by 4-0, 4-1.
yeah. So yeah, not an easy team to play with. On the other game, Lille is playing Chelsea. Lille is not the same Lille of last season. Um,
Yeah,
there are
but
definitely
also
some.
Chelsea is not the Chelsea from the last season.
So who do you back?
Obviously Chelsea because they're the current champions, and they their team actually like way like in pens and papers way better than Lille.
For sure. But yeah, it would be nice if Lille can make it against Chelsea at least at away if they can draw and come back and try to win in the home. Um, and I think who else is playing? Manchester United and
United versus Atletico.
Atletico. That the match made in heaven. Uh,
Well, well, I don't know. Like it seems like it would be 5-4. Either it will be 5-4 or 5-6 sort of games. Like after two legs, 5-4, 5-6 or something like this.
yeah. Atletico Madrid
Because
has
both
been all
both of
over.
their defense is like really.
Yes, but I still so in this game, who you think can really make for two legs?
I would favor Manchester United
Okay,
actually.
that is interesting, very interesting. Um, and why is that though?
Um, well, the thing is that last in the last three match actually, they probably had drew against two of yeah they drew two of them actually probably.
Hmm.
And the thing is that like they were quite good in the first first half in every game. um McTominay is playing really well so far.
But who is scoring for them?
Last they won against Brighton, probably last match, uh, like 2-0. Ronaldo scored.
From penalties, yes.
Yeah, from penalty, but still, the only problem is that like when Ronaldo is playing, they could not actually press up high. They were actually playing quite good football, I would say, actually, give and take the players they have. And Sancho is in brilliant form. Actually, he scored 3 goals probably in last 4 matches, um, which is quite a confidence boost for him.
Okay.
Pogba played 2 games. He played actually well. Um like we know how Pogba is like. He's like really unpredictable, like almost like Morata.
Yeah. There's a wonderful player, but he's not consistent. But problem is with the Manchester United. I mean, obviously, not just defending. To me, it is also how they go and attack. Um, and cannot say I'm really impressed with Atletico Madrid as well, unless they're
Also, I don't actually buy this thing about Manchester United. Like, uh, they have this double pivot since, I don't know, since the beginning of the time, and they stuck with it, and they
four to
don't
three
actually
one.
need it. Yeah, 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-2-2 or something like this. I don't need like I don't think, like, why would you need double pivot? Like, if they can play like a 4-3-3 formation or something like this, it could actually um, give them actually to, how can I say, like, players like Sancho or who was just playing in the right. Um, they played Rashford in 2 matches, and probably Greenwood played one in one.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
Greenwood is out of the equation at this point, but um, yeah, it would be interesting, and I totally agree. I don't understand the two.
and also Ronaldo would be a little bit, how can I say, more effective in this 4-3-3 formation than with 4-2-2 or 4-2-3-1 or something like this.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't know why they have to keep playing two in the pivot. Just mental comfort, I guess. What else it could be? I don't see a point. Um,
But other than that, like, in terms of midfield quality or like everywhere, right now, yeah, midfield and the performance of their defense actually quite well from Atletico, but still it's not like consistency.
no,
Like,
no,
they actually
it's
they
mediocre.
actually conceded 3 goals probably in the last league games.
Yes, and then today they won 3-0.
Oh
um,
yeah. So it would, like, nobody knows. It's uh, like really, how can I say, if you want to bet on
the
one of this thing,
only consistent player for Atletico Madrid is Angel Correa and
yeah,
potentially Carrasco.
yeah.
Uh, th-
Even Rodrigo de Paul lost his form.
yeah, because the midfield, I think Koke, players like Koke and De Paul doesn't have that impact. Given that, I think it's a mixed messaging from the tactical side. What are the roles and what they have to do? They've put Kondogbia, who is very good at kicking people, not as good as kicking the ball. Um, but yeah,
I
anyway,
think, well, I think if Koke is playing, and uh, I don't know, like, he's not the same player, and
no, he's
he
not.
always, yeah, he always
He's more of a
more
liability at the
comfortable.
point.
Yeah, right now, yeah. So uh,
And
I
also the
think they,
defense always had a leadership. Savage, Savage is not a leader. He
nope.
himself is he himself is not a great defender. If you compare the Atletico Madrid's all the defenders, right? And I don't know Jimenez how long he'll be out for injury. But again, there
He's he's not probably going to play.
and then you have Oblak. I don't think he's in the same form as well. So there's a lot of inconsistency as well as today Suarez scored almost from middle of the almost middle of the ground.
Yeah.
Uh, but Suarez is not getting younger. You have Matias Cunha who probably is injured. So yeah, there is a bit of problem for Atletico at this point.
The thing is that also Griezmann is not the same Griezmann, even though he cut off his ear.
Yeah, doesn't matter. He has to still play the ball on his feet. But yeah, here doesn't here doesn't touch the ball unless it goes up in the air. Um, yeah, no, I think Atletico Madrid has a lot of problem. So it's hard to say who is worse at this point.
Yeah,
In
but
that,
that's why I was saying like Atletico Madrid has quality in midfield, but right now the form of these midfielders and also I think United is more consistent than Atletico Madrid. Yeah, in terms of midfielder, something like this.
fair enough. The other game is between Ajax and Benfica, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Who you think can go from here?
I'm wearing Ajax dress. So what do you think?
Well, you can. Sometime people wear something and talk something else. So
Um, it's hard actually. Benfica is unpredictable. Like for example,
Benfica did beat Barcelona, right?
yeah, no,
S-
it was a draw or oh no, they beat in the first leg.
First leg, yes. That's why Barcelona is playing in the Europa League.
Yeah,
So yeah, Benfica is not a bad team at all. They have uh, in the season there's a dip in form definitely, but
they weren't actually like doing that much good in the league.
yeah, no. Um, but again, surprise. Champions League, they were very good so far. Let's see how they do it against Ajax. Ajax is arguably the most good-looking team beside Manchester City. Or even at some point, I would say Ajax is more attractive to see than Manchester City. Um,
But the thing is that Benfica is going to play deep, and they have fast players like Everton or Silva or Nunes.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
so
it will be interesting. It will be interesting, but then again, you have on your back line, you have someone like Lisandro Martinez who has really good pace to cover the ground. So it would be a very interesting game, definitely.
yeah, it will be one of these games like attack versus defense. The thing is that uh, if obviously Ajax is not going to play on long balls, and even if they play any sort of long balls, like there is Vertonghen and Otamendi in the middle, and um, they still can defend.
Yeah, yeah, but the
And
problem is, what I'm saying is, Ajax has so many good, skillful ball players in from wide and from even Tadic, although he's aged, but he's technically
yeah,
a wonderful player, right? So,
yeah.
um, and the way this team,
Actually, he's how can I say, he's not directly playing out wide this season.
no, it's like 8.5. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's almost, for the lack of good words, it's almost like half Muller or something. But what he's doing at this stage of his career, I think he deserves a lot of recognition and respect. And um, Ajax is probably very. not probably, is in very good form in the local Dutch league as well. So yeah, it would be very interesting to see against Benfica, who looks very solid.
Also, this midfield with Bargios and Klaassen,
Yeah,
especially Klaassen, I am like more than impressed. But there are rumors about Vargas. He won't be there probably in the next season. So far, like so many European teams are
looking for him. Yeah,
after him. Yeah, but one of the player we have to mention, like if we brings up Ajax, Anthony.
yeah, is a total baller right there. He's a exceptionally good player. Exceptionally good player. It's sometime I see and see how scary he can be. Um, it's hard to play against him unless you have very good strategy of disrupting his mental focus.
Yeah, he never actually. I haven't actually seen him losing his cool in the game.
A little bit against he was playing for Brazil against Argentina, that 0-0 draw.
Oh yeah, if you have, that's a different game and different
Yeah,
team,
yeah, different team and different tactics, different rivalry, and different way of handling
and
things.
also different situations and also different stadiums.
Yes.
He has to at the time.
Yeah. No. Again, I'm a fan of this Ajax team. I hope them to do well, and but nevertheless, I like this Benfica team as well. So far, what they've done is fairly extraordinary, given that their group had Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and they are still in the second round. I think that itself is a recognition of the team.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like I don't know, like well,
But
it would be really
I'm
hard to predict.
I'm not
Like,
a fan of is it George Jesus, their coach? Not a huge fan of him, but
no.
he's done some good work in past, and let's see how they do as well.